Car enthusiasts fall into many different categories, but there are some things that stay the same across all of these different categories. I'm Clarkarino, and today I will list 11 things most petrolheads will understand. Number 11. Wearing clothes to match your car. This includes wearing clothes because it matches the color of your car, or buying/wearing clothes that have the emblem of your car on it. Number 10. Money is no object when it comes to your car. This means if you have a modification in mind, or you want to fix something, doesn't matter how much it costs, you will do it. Number 9 is Phil Collins. Phil Collins is a singer-songwriter that is very famous for his songs, and in the car world, he's very famous for the fact that he is a car enthusiast himself.
For a quick drive, yeah? Just be an hour or
No.
so.
What
What do you mean, no?
Everyone's coming round an hour. I need your help with the
Bro,
turkey.
it's Christmas. I need to follow tradition.
What tradition?
The Christmas driving movement of Phil Collins. He set in the 80s, bro.
He didn't start the driving
Oh
movement
my
in
god,
the
do
80s.
you not know anything about driving and Phil Collins? Of course he did. We do it.
Alex, you're not going for a drive. You can
Bro,
go
the
for a
roads
drive
on Christmas
tomorrow.
are empty. Tomorrow?
Yes,
Bro,
tomorrow.
tomorrow's boxing.
Number 8. Knowing obscure car knowledge. This means you have some random car fact that nobody else knows except for other petrolheads, and you are so proud you know that, and everybody just kind of looks at you like you're weird because you know just some random fact, like the weight of the Fiat Multipla. Number 7 is not liking the new Top Gear. This one is pretty big from what I've seen on Car Throttle. People don't like the new Top Gear, and yeah, the host did just kind of step down because, well, all the backlash he's gotten. At the end of the day, probably the main reason behind them not liking the new Top Gear is simply because most people miss the old trio. But if you miss the old trio, there's a new show coming up. It's called The Grand Tour. You should watch it. It's the same 3 people. Number 6. Talking about cars all the time. This is one that every petrolhead is guilty of. When a conversation comes up, and your first thought is, how can I turn this conversation into about cars? This has happened to every petrolhead. Number 5, preferring manual over automatic. This one is something only true petrolheads understand, which is liking a manual car more than an automatic because you love putting your car into all the different gears instead of to drive. Number 4, listening for good exhaust notes. This means you're constantly listening for a car that sounds really cool, and if you hear one, you almost know exactly what car it is just by the sound of it. Number 3, the exciting feeling you get when a rare car or a car you really like has just been spotted. Ever have that moment when you look out the window, driving by or walking through a parking lot, and you see or hear that car that you just really love, or the car that you just haven't seen in person yet? Number 2, being sad about Phil the MX-5. This is one for all the Car Throttle people out there, the CT fans. If you don't know who Phil the MX-5 is, let me explain a little bit. On Car Throttle, there's a famous guy. His name is Alex. Alex had something called Project MX-5, where his project car was a Mazda Miata. He named the Miata Phil, after the aforementioned Phil Collins, and everything was going fine. But one day, at the Car Throttle meet in the Nürburgring in Germany, Phil had an oil leak. Now, Phil's safe and sound back in England, but he hasn't been repaired yet, as of this was recorded. And number 1, loving your car above all else. This is the soul of being a car enthusiast. Loving your car like nothing else. If I missed any, please be sure to leave that in the comments. I'll be sure to put it in the next video. But until then, this is Clarkarino clocking out.